Mrs. Victoria. She's the Group Head Business Development for Bank of Industry ITC. And aside from that, she's a champion in many areas, one being equipping the society with the right information to grow the food value chain in a green and sustainable manner. But there's more. She has also lots of practical experience in growing businesses from the startup. As of last year, one of the former businesses she grew reached roughly about 1 billion naira worth of revenue, if I'm correct. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Victoria. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Sorry,
thank you. Yeah, that is our situation at times here in Nigeria. So, well, let's get right into it. What we do here on this platform, we create an enabling platform for localized businesses here at SIN Nigeria, Christian Integrated, with our various ventures that we're into, one of them being agricultural sector. And one thing I enjoyed about you and your profile from my studies about it was your keen interest in telling the African story, and which I feel is very important for us to be able to tell our story. I feel everybody has a story to tell, and the more people we can tell our story to, the more collaborations we can get, and the bigger we can grow to achieve our various aims and goals. So getting right into it, let me ask, what made you get interested in telling the African farmer story? What's the story behind that story?
Okay, the story behind that story. African farmer story started as a passion to change the narrative. Over the years, I always said Africans should help Africans to grow Africa. If we really want to grow Africa, we have to do it ourselves as Africans. Yes, it is good to collaborate, it's good to partner, but first you need to discover who you are. And for us to discover who we are, we need to tell our stories. We need to air it out. In growing, our history were handed over to us by stories, folk tale, you know. So that's how we shared our history. And I felt during the pandemic, when the 1 million boys came knocking, and they were talking about coming to collect food items from homes. Myself and from India, we were having this conversation about it, and I said, okay, why don't you tell the stories of farmers who are actually not finding sales, because they were sending me messages that they just couldn't get people to buy their products, right? And they were burning a lot of them. They were spoiling at farm gates because there was no logistics available. Everywhere was shut down. And people were hungry in the cities, in the urban area. There were hunger in Lagos, and the boys were coming knocking. So I said, let's celebrate these farmers. Let's talk about them. They're the ones that make our living worth it. So yeah, that's how it started as an initiative to celebrate the farmers and talk about them. Yeah.
Wow. Well, definitely a fascinating backstory to the genesis of African farmer story. And that, like I said, that was one thing that really got me very interested. Actually, what's a story that you feel should be told more about the Nigerian, precisely, our agricultural business sector? What story do you think we should tell more to not just ourselves as localized individuals, but also to the world?
We should tell the story of local innovation, the story of innovations that are not expensive but are working, in the agriculture sector. Innovations that are homegrown and that we have adapted, in Nigeria, in Africa as a continent. Just thinking about it, I remember going into a farm where everything was 100% imported technology, very beautiful, looked all sophisticated, but the farm failed. The farm failed because the technology is not fit for the Nigerian climate. When you want to bring technology, you look at the weather condition. When it comes to agriculture, you look at the weather condition, you look at the experience, the usage of the technology. Do you have people experienced enough locally to use the technology, to interpret it so that it can be something that is useful and doesn't become a burden to the investor? Looking back from where that investor worked with the imported technology to where he is with using the local technology that are far cheaper and are more effective, I'm saying we need to tell those kind of stories. We need to let the world know that in all of it, we still have what it takes to make a difference by ourselves. If you just understand who we are as a people, we're a unique set of people, and everything about us is unique. So we must appreciate that perspective, and we must push that narrative so that investors get it right, and we're able to grow in a sustainable way.
Wow. I couldn't agree with you anymore. I completely agree. And actually, you touched on another fantastic point, which I was going to lead to eventually, talking about investors and keying into the African story, the Nigerian story, to be precise, in the agro sector. When we talk about, when I think of localization, and like you said, you went to a farm with fantastic foreign equipment, but not adaptable to the Nigerian environment. That's a major issue. That's a serious factor that at times hinders the growth and development in. Oh, I think we just lost connection. No, so back to our conversation. You raised a very great point. Talking about investment, and I feel first, before we look at the outside world investing in us, we should also start looking inwards to invest in ourselves and in the localized aspect of it. At times people hear localized and they feel it's like, it's local. So I think maybe we should change it from localized to maybe domestic, and have domestic and international. So it has that terminology at times, because Nigerians tend to run away from anything local. Well, so how, based on your experience and your position, how do you feel we can better attract domestic investors and domestic interest into agribusiness in a local sense?
Okay, so first and foremost, we need to bring integrity and transparency into the agricultural sector domestically, right? Because there's a lot of bad news about investing in agriculture domestically. People have lost their money and all of that, and that's why we're developing a platform called Agro Verified that helps you to verify every business that you want to trade with, invest in, or even research about. So you're sure that they're true, their location is correct, what they're doing is actually correct before you start the conversation. So, I mean, when people have access to those kind of verified platforms, it gives them some level of trust. It gives some level of integrity to the system. And once you have trust, it's easy for you to invest, because you're not investing in an idea. You're investing in the people that have that idea, right? So once you have those kind of verifiable information, it reduces your risk, then attracts more people to you as a business. One. Secondly, if you are a new entrant into the business, for example, depending on the value chain you want to play in, say you want to play in logistics, you're able to tell, okay, should I play in the cold storage logistic or the dry logistics? Then you can go to the platform to say, okay, if I'm focused in Kwara, for example, how many farmers are in Kwara State that I can provide the cold logistics service to that will be worth my while? Then you're having information, data, real time and on time to make those kind of investment decisions. For me, that's the first thing we need to do. And we need to start telling those stories. We need to start talking about those platforms. We need to about the platform itself, the agro-verified platform, and attract more people to knowing it. And it also helps the farmer to or the agripreneur to position his business for international trade, such that people outside the continent or outside the country are able to say, oh, this business is verifiable. I can therefore trade with this business. Because our name as a country outside Nigeria is not at the best at the moment. However, we can then make the best out of it, because it is our story and we have to own the story and change the narrative ourselves if we really want to grow.
Absolutely. I agree with you. It's our story, and it's left to us to change that story and narrative.
Thank you for watching this video. It was sponsored by SIN Business Development Team. With an aim to reduce redundancy, the team of professionals applied their skills and experience in creating an all-inclusive package for your fundraising options, including a comprehensive business plan, financial model, pitch deck, talking points, and presentation media. For inquiries, send a mail to contact@cinigeria.com. That's contact@cinigeria.com.
I'm actually quite interested with the Agro-Verify platform. I feel it has a great potential to create that level of trust that's everybody sees, especially investors, being able to. Oh, I think we're losing connection again. Fantastic. We got you back.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So the Agro-Verify platform. So how can individuals key into that? They just go online and type in Agro-Verify platform?
If you are an investor, you want to invest in a particular business, somebody have sent you a pitch deck, you can just go there to check if that business is really existing. If they say they're doing what they say they are doing, the claim to be doing. If you, for example, you want to buy plantain to feed your plantain chip business in Nigeria, you can then search plantain farmers in Ogun State, for example. Maybe plantain farmers in Ogun State. It gives you all the plantain farmers in Ogun State, and it also shows you their capacity, how many tons you can get from them. So that will give you an insight to enable you plan appropriately, right? So that you don't have raw material constraints. Then you can then know the set of people you need to speak with, and you're sure that the people you're speaking with are genuine people.
Wow, well, I look forward to that and definitely be following up on it, because I think it's always great when we can create. I think that's okay. There we go. Got you again. I think it's always great when we can create a platform that generates trust. Both parties, I think that's a win-win situation for everybody involved. So, okay, Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, you have a vast experience in the business sector, specifically in agribusiness, not just in the Bank of Industry, but in other industries, in other organizations that you are and have been a part of. And so, from your experience, for those, like I mentioned earlier, you have vast experience in agribusiness and you're advisor to different boards. What advice would you give for individuals, both young entrepreneurs and older entrepreneurs, who are looking to either start up or grow in the agribusiness sector?
Okay, I'll summarize my advice in one word: collaborate. As a
Mhm.
startup, collaborate. As a scale up, collaborate. You cannot do everything yourself. You cannot succeed alone. The idea you have, be rest assured that 500 people in the world also have the same idea. So you need to understand the power of collaboration, the power of partnership. African Farmer Story is what it is today because of the collaborators that we have by our side. Even those that some people might call our competitors are our partners and our collaborators, and it's been fantastic. So just collaborate. That's all I'd say. Find a way to collaborate. The market side, the raw material side, the technology side, whatever aspect, just collaborate.
You're full of so much wisdom. I'm so happy you're joining us today. I think that collaboration is it's priceless. It's priceless. It's needed. It's necessary for growth in any sector, and that collaboration also boils down to the other aspect you mentioned earlier of trust and being able to build trust. A lot of people have been burned, and definitely I completely agree with you on that. Ms. Victoria, thank you so much for taking your time out to join us on the platform for this discussion on agribusiness. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on the platform this evening. I'm sure you've had a long day, and it's a pleasure to hold this discussion with you and tap into your wealth of knowledge. Yeah, and yeah, we will continue to tell the stories of both agribusiness and a few other sectors that our platform are looking to shine the light on. We hope to invite you back again in the future to have further discussions and collaborations, hopefully.
Thanks.
Let's see.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. My sincere apology once again for the network issues, connectivity issues. It's rained really badly over here. I look forward to having conversations with you in the future. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Our pleasure. So have a wonderful night, and see you again soon.
Bye.
So until next time, cheers. My name is Stanley K. Thank you for joining us.